podcast. We'll do that next week.
Okay.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to an episode of Change Starts With Us, Ohio. Today, our guest is Shiloh Logan, the fiance of Patrick Rafferty, or known to so many as Patrick Shane Rafferty. Welcome, Shiloh.
Thanks for having me on.
Okay. Well, let's give a little history. What is Shane's sentence?
Shane was sentenced to life without parole. The complete charges were aggravated murder, kidnapping, abuse of a corpse, 2 counts of tampering with evidence, and a gun specification.
Now, that's kind of hard for anybody to get a sentence like that. They're trying to say that people can't change. But in his case, he is innocent, correct?
Correct.
Okay, why don't we go through some of the pointers you may have to be able to prove to our listeners on how we can, go forward and what people might want to hear about his case, those that don't really understand or know him. So let's go through a little bit of particulars on his case.
Okay, well, for starters, the first part that I read was the actual trial. In the actual trial, not only did they completely ignore evidence, there really was no evidence. The only thing that they used as physical evidence was a shop vac. A shop vac that Lisa Penix, one of the co-defendants, claimed was used to clean up the crime scene.
Right.
The problem with that evidence was Shane's DNA was a 1 in 83 match. Normally with DNA, it's 1 in the millions to trillions.
Wow.
So a 1 in 83 match means at least one other person in that courthouse matched that DNA just as much as he did.
I didn't even know that was possible. Huh.
And not only that, but there was absolutely no DNA from the victim found on the shop vac, found on or in the shop vac. There was nothing.
Wow.
That was the only piece of what they presented and claimed to be hard evidence.
Is this considered a case of I'm pointing you out and I'm going to find you guilty like so many?
Pretty much. The prosecutor that prosecuted Shane was the same prosecutor that prosecuted Clarence Elkins.
Ooh, my friend. Okay. Is that the judge? Was that the judge that had a do his case in one day to go to the dentist?
No, it wasn't the judge. It was the prosecutor.
Okay, the prosecutor.
She's the judge now.
Yes. Okay. That stuck in my mind. And I thought it was Patrick's case, but right there would prove he did not get a fair trial.
That was with the judge, yes. Yeah, she wanted to make an eye doctor appointment.
Oh, eye doctor appointment. Okay.
Yes, so they limited the defense's witnesses.
Well, too bad that they didn't postpone a little bit. Maybe she could have seen the case a little bit better with glasses.
She might have been able to.
Right. Well, let's go through some of the trial. I'm sure you read the transcripts, correct?
Every single page.
Okay. Go through part of the part of the trial, on how, the trial went.
Well, basically, they called the professional witnesses. They called the detective that investigated the case, Detective Hara, out of Akron. They called the forensic scientist that worked with the autopsy. They called the actual doctor that did the autopsy.
Right.
There was no evidence, no DNA, no anything pointing to who committed the crime.
So that's so
all
common.
of them straight up said that.
Right.
And then after the professional witnesses, The only witnesses they called were the co-defendants and one other witness besides the co-defendant, but the main one was the co-defendant. And their statements between the court trial and the original police statements they gave were incredibly different.
Wow.
In original police statements, the co-defendants were saying that the victim was killed because he had an affair with the girlfriend of William Kramer, another one of the co-defendants. Later on, they changed that to, just during trial, they tried to say that he was having an affair with someone that Shane was interested in, which they said they could prove it by phone records.
Right.
So they brought out the phone records because they claimed that she had called the victim, and that was why Shane went off. They brought in phone records from both the victim and the girl that they were talking about, and there were no calls there was one call between the two from about a week prior that ended up being when Shane had borrowed his phone.
Right. What deals did the co-defendants get for lying on them?
They all avoided the death penalty.
Oh.
William Kramer ended up getting 26 to life when he was facing the death penalty.
Right.
Eric Shutt got 25 to life when he was facing the death penalty. Lisa Penix was facing life without parole. She got 21 to life. And Jason Keenan was facing life in prison. He got 1 year of work release and 5 years of probation.
Okay, now Shane took it to the box, correct?
Yep.
So, did they try to give him the death sentence?
Yes, they tried to give him the death sentence.
So that means they believe a robbery took place at the time, or something else took place at the time.
They said the aggravating circumstance was the kidnapping.
Wow.
Because the co-defendants claimed that the victim, Stephen Spade, was duct taped to a chair.
Right. So it most likely one of the co-defendants actually did the killing, correct?
From what I've read, yeah, definitely. From what I've read, it honestly looks more like William Kramer was the one guilty of the actual killing.
I hope a private investigator is listening to this, and I'm going to send this out to several people as well. But something like that they need to do something about that. A guy testifying against your fiance just to save his butt when he committed the murder.
And it was admitted in court and in the original police statements that William Kramer and Stephen Spade, the victim, had gotten into a fight earlier that night over William Kramer's girlfriend.
What do you have in the works at this present time?
Oh, well, Shane's got a podcast that he recorded about a month ago. We'll be releasing on November 20th.
Do we get to do it on video?
Nope, it's all over the phone with a gentleman out of Texas by the name of Joe Martinez.
Okay.
So our podcast is called Talk of the Show.
Oh, I know Joe. Okay.
And besides that one, we're also actually been discussing his case with the television show Reasonable Doubt on Investigation Discovery.
Right.
And his case is currently in front of the Conviction Review Unit in Summit County.
Right. And it seems like there's so many loopholes, at least with what you explained, that I can't see them not taking him back unless if that court is really prejudiced against him.
Exactly. There is, throughout the entire trial, throughout all of the original police statements, it really, really points to William Kramer was the one who committed the murder. I have video from a gas station when they were going to West Virginia, which is where they disposed of the victim's body. In the video, they claimed that Shane followed William Kramer into the gas station. But when you're watching the video, you can see through the door and you can very clearly see William Kramer get out of the front seat. Front passenger seat. He gets a gas can out of the back passenger seat, which is where they claim Shane was sitting. He fills up the gas can, puts it back in the back passenger seat, and closes the door.
So there's a good chance he could have been, yeah, it sounds to me he could not have been sitting back there.
Exactly. William Kramer then walks into the gas station alone when they said that he was followed by Shane, and a person from a pickup truck on the other side of the pump follows shortly after.
I need to be an investigator because I see the loopholes myself in this. And there's no way he could have been sitting back there with the gas can and the stuff back there.
Yeah, it's not possible.
Right. So I'm kind of I'm surprised his attorney did not tear them apart on this.
He had court-appointed attorneys, and honestly, even from the trial, it looked like they didn't even care. When it came to questioning Lisa Penix for the trial,
right,
they went extremely easy on her. Shane said that at one point he turned to the attorney and asked him, "What the hell is going on?" And the attorney told him, "You can complain about what a crappy attorney I am after. For now, just shut up."
So he wasn't given the right to even talk to his attorney, basically.
Nope.
Did he file a complaint against his attorney?
He tried to claim for inadequate counsel, and it was turned down.
That doesn't surprise me, though. How often do they actually go in the plaintiff's defendant's favor? Not very often.
Exactly.
So how long has Shane been in, or Patrick?
15 years.
Wow.
The crime took place February 4th of 2005, and he's been incarcerated since September of 2005.
So really, you're going to have to win his case, because if they modified his case, he would have to admit to guilt. Or if they would change it to life with parole, he still would have to admit to guilt, probably.
That is correct.
And I mean, I don't know what I would do. I think I would just want to get out. But, it's also important that these people actually win their cases, and walk out a free man all around. Mm-hmm. Have you been in any contact with Jennifer at the Innocence Project or Mark Gotzi or any of them?
When Shane applied for the Innocence Project way back, quite a while back, she had been turned down because of the fact that there was no DNA evidence.
Now they have a non-DNA section. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he hasn't reapplied or anything since then.
Well, do you have a problem with me sending this video to Mark?
That would be perfect. That would be perfectly okay.
I'm going to send it to a few news stations as well. I tell you, the last few videos we did, it's like, common sense would realize that these people did not commit these crimes.
Exactly.
I see the loopholes in your case, in Rocco's case, and it's so aggravating. I did 25 years. I committed a crime, just not what I was guilty of. So I know that, it's easy for people to up the charge, fake the charge, and convict people just by hearsay or finger pointing.
Yep. And the prosecution is all about the numbers. They don't care if you're innocent or guilty. All they want are the wins.
Yeah. I got a call the other day from a prosecutor and asked me not to be so hard on him. And we got into a little discussion, about several people. And this was, I won't say what county on here, but he admitted there was problems in that county. I said, well, you as a prosecutor, it falls at your feet. Now, I don't think he was a head prosecutor. I think he was right underneath the head prosecutor. And I'm hearing a lot of negative stuff about Summit.
Yep.
Just recently, I'm getting all these complaints against Summit. I even got a call today and asked if I was an attorney, and I just said I wish. Because half these people, I would probably work for free and I would be bankrupt.
Well, anyone out of Summit County, their prosecutor, Sherry Bevins Walsh, is up for re-election this year.
Well, I think we can't as an organization, but individually, we could ask people to vote the other way.
Exactly.
Because we're just about to get a 501c3. We finally got the money for it. So, but I really want to do several segments with you, and also again with Pat. But I want to really get our podcast up and going. Right now we're on 8 different podcasts. Picked us up, and I've been doing one of each of the videos, but I'm going to focus more on different videos instead of just doing it every video we do. So, and I would like Patrick to be part of one, but I would like you also to be part of one. So I would have to bring you up on Google Duo or something while Patrick's on the phone as well.
Okay.
So, because I don't know any other way we can do it.
Yep, that would definitely work fine by me.
Well, what are you looking for? An attorney, investigator, just support?
Some of the main things we would need right now is an investigator, and of course an attorney.
Right.
Because neither one of us know enough about the legal system as to what avenues he can take.
Yeah, would this be an appeals attorney?
He's already exhausted his appeals, so it would have to be post-conviction.
Post-conviction. I know that sets aside the conviction because I went through it. But is there any other motion beside that, or is that the only one left?
Right now, that's the only one left. He has exhausted his appeals. In the state of Ohio, the death penalty, they get almost unlimited appeals, but life without parole, which is pretty much very similar to the death penalty. It's just a slow death.
Right.
Gets 2. They get 2 appeals.
But that's the same as everybody else, I think.
Exactly. He's already filed his habeas and it was denied. So he can't do anything with that route.
Well, we're going to work on trying to put together a bill, that will help out people that was wrongfully convicted somehow. But that's down the road. But we got to figure out someone that might offer to help as an attorney or investigator. Now, if somebody wants to help financially, because all this costs money, do you have a PayPal set up or a Cash App?
I do have Cash App.
Okay, what's the name on the Cash App?
It's SHIGIRL 1980.
Okay. We had one lady that's saying she knows an investigator. You want to pay at least $3,000. It's kind of expensive. But Jasmine, that isn't really bad. But most of our people have paid so much on legal fees. And then she asked what they accused your fiance of, which was aggravated murder, correct?
Exactly.
Okay, but you have the loopholes. You have the evidence that this crime did not happen. We already determined there's no way he could have been sitting where they claimed he did. There would have been no room in the car.
Yep. And Shane was the smallest out of the entire group. Shane is about 5'9", and he weighed, even his co-defendants in the original police statement said he weighed 140 pounds soaking wet.
He was a kid. I looked at his picture.
Very small.
Yeah, he is a kid. He was a
And
kid.
as opposed to Derek Shutt was 5'10", 350 pounds. He had the gun in his possession and tried to claim that tiny little Shane Rafferty intimidated him so much that he handed a gun over.
Yeah. Is Derek Shutt at Marion?
Derek Shutt is at North Central.
Yes. Okay. I talked to you afterwards. But
then there's William Kramer. William Kramer was formerly in the Army.
Right.
He was arrested multiple times for domestic violence. He had drug charges against him. And he tried to claim that Shane intimidated him so much that he participated.
Yeah, excuse me for a second. Jasmine, do me a favor. If you could make some calls to some large law firms out in Cleveland, because a lot of them they have a pro bono section and a prosecutor. Most of these people exhausted their money on the appeals at the beginning of their sentence. I know one lady that sold her house to pay for her son's legal fees. So, I mean, they've really sacrificed. So, and I know that a lot of these big law firms do have a pro bono section.
Yes, but a lot of them do.
But it's also getting the right one. I mean, just getting an attorney. He's from Akron, Jasmine. But I would think a Cleveland private investigator or attorney can take it as well because it's in Akron, 45 minutes away from Cleveland, I believe. And Cleveland probably has more attorneys. Even Columbus attorneys would take that case, like Joel Spitzer out of Delaware, he would. But I don't know if he does so many pro bonos a year, but this is also a big pro bono.
Yep. Yes, it was a very big case when it occurred.
Yeah. I don't remember this case. There's a lot of people I do remember the cases, like the one guy in Death Row we were talking to. But I don't remember your fiance's case by any means. I was locked up when this all happened. And it's a waste of a life that our system really even allows something like this to happen. Mm-hmm. I'm worried more about an eye appointment than a fair trial. Well, I really think letters to the editor, should be done. If we could get people to send letters to the Akron Beacon Journal and Columbus Dispatch and Cleveland.com.
Yeah.
Akron is pretty good at reporting me, good or bad. They do both sometimes. But we just need to get people that will be willing to go that extra mile. So like I was saying, is there any are you the main person helping your fiance out?
Yes.
Okay. Then there's no sense of interviewing anybody else other than you and Shane. Let's, why don't you and I do a podcast this weekend and then do a YouTube with you and Patrick. I had to have you call on my tablet. Or actually, I got a phone number on there from TalkTone on my tablet. And you could even download TalkTone as well if you want to use a number that's not your original number. And it's free numbers. So let's plan something this weekend. Let me know. And if people want to reach out and offer assistance to you, how can they do that?
Best way is through Shane's page, which on Facebook is Wrongful Conviction Patrick Shane Rafferty.
Am I on that page?
Yes, you are.
Okay. Also,
and when this video is shared, I'll post it in the comments as well.
Right. Also, Shiloh has a Facebook page. You could probably inbox her, but her last name is different than Logan, like it is. What's your last? Raphael.
Shiloh Raphael on Facebook.
Yeah. So you could inbox her there. like she said, she does have that green card you had, right? Oh, or
That's Cash App.
oh, Cash App. Okay, well, it's green, I guess. So give your numbers one more time for Cash App.
For Cash App, it was SHIGIRL 1980.
Okay, because this is a very costly battle. Most attorneys won't do it completely free. You might get a few that will, but it would be nice to be able to help some of these people out with financial help so that the burden's not just solely on one person, as it seems to me that would be on Shiloh in this case. Okay, everybody, we will be back in, I don't know, a week or two with Patrick and Shiloh, and then we'll do Shiloh on a podcast this weekend. Okay, everybody, have a great night. Yeah, I tried to keep it at 30 minutes.